Now I'm just going to roast, do a very, very simple balanced dish, again using the oven. And what I'm going to do is roasted butternut squash with some nice red kidney beans, a selection of veg, and I'm going to just spice this up with some cayenne pepper, a little bit of smoked paprika, and a little bit of ground cumin. I'm also going to use a little bit of honey, about 20 ml. So I'll just go through the recipe with you here, the ingredients first. I've used half a butternut squash here. What I've done is I've cut it half lengthways, taken the seeds out, peeled it, taken the seeds out, and then scored it with a knife, as you might see a piece of meat or something, like scored in such a way. I've got about 100 grams of tomatoes, which I've just cut into halves, in these cases because they're smaller tomatoes, quarters. It doesn't really matter, you don't have to be fussy. One large red onion, again chopped into chunks. I have a full fennel, which again I've just chopped into large chunks. I have a 400 gram tin of kidney beans, but when I had drained off the kidney beans themselves, they came to about 240 grams of the bean themselves. So 240 grams of pre-cooked canned red kidney beans. I'm using about 40 ml of good olive oil. Again, the honey, about 20 ml. And just a little bit of salt and pepper to season. And this is all in one dish, a very, very simple, full roasted dish. So for this dish, what I'm going to do first is just put a trickle of oil on the bottom of my pan, just so that nothing sticks. Literally half a teaspoon. I'm going to put the butternut squash onto the pan, just like this. Pinch of salt, pinch of black pepper. I'm going to place the fennel, the red onion, the tomatoes, all around the squash. I do want the squash in contact with the bottom of the pan so that it's going to cook a lot quicker as it's working its way through. And then I'm going to take about 20 ml of olive oil and I'm going to pour it in. I'll just put it here. Pour it in with the smoked paprika, the cayenne, and the cumin. Going to just mix those up to make kind of a little paste, for want of a better description. And into that, I'm also going to add my honey. About 20 ml. Mix that all up together. And I'm going to smudge it over the butternut squash. Just nice and thickly. And don't forget, these are half a butternut squash, which has been cut in half lengthways. So I'm just going to get that little mix with a little bit of honey, the spices, over that. If you have a bit of surplus and it's a little bit thick, just drizzle it around the whole dish as you see fit. I'm going to just randomly just put a little drop of olive oil over all of the dish. Over the vegetables, I'm going to just put a little pinch of salt. And then what I'm going to do is put about quarter to a third cup of just plain water into the dish. And that's going to allow all the veg get a bit of a head start in cooking. And it's going to prevent anything burning, because once you have that little bit of honey, it does tend to be a bit of a risk with a dish like this. So that's ready to go into the oven now. So I've preheated my oven to about 210 degrees. That's all my vegetables and my butternut ready to go in. I'm just going to pop that in and cook it, just keeping an eye on things, for about 20 minutes. So there we go, into the oven. Butternut squash now has been cooking in the oven for about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to pull it out and have a little check. As you can see, the marinade is just kind of crisped up a little bit on top of it, but it's looking good. So I'm just going to smudge that marinade over it now that it's been cooked over a little bit more, and kind of mix everything up a little bit And next I'm going to add my red kidney beans. They're going to add the protein into the dish, making it a lot more substantial to eat. I'm just going to mix everything up together. You can just check your butternut squash, and if it's a little bit hard in the middle, you can see it's cooking there nicely. And then I'm just going to pop that back in the oven and let it continue cooking until everything is soft and tender in it. So just mix it all up together. And you can see how it's looking there. So that goes back in the oven, I'd say, in around another 20 minutes. Waited about 20 minutes. Put this on a high heat oven. There's our butternut squash, all cooked up and ready. So, pretty much ready to go. Just needs maybe a pinch more salt and pepper, depending on your taste. The honey brings a lovely sweetness to the spiciness on this dish. And what I'm going to do is just simply serve a nice piece of butternut squash and some of the vegetables that it's been cooked in with just a nice, simple, crisp leaf salad. That's all you really need with this.